So I was just talking to Belinda about the whole core values and like the processes, like when we hire people. So our hiring process is a little bit different than most people. So what I typically go through is obviously like what the job's going to involve, but then we cover the core values. And the way I explain the core values is it's really what the company needs in order to be successful. And there's times where we hire someone like from counter or for the packing position or whatever, and it's at the end of the day, it's just not a good fit. Could be they didn't enjoy it as much as they wanted to, and but it just comes down to if they have the core values, then typically if the packing position wasn't great for them, then we can typically move them into something else. Um, and with the core values, it's not like me going to that person and saying like, you don't have this core value, so it's just not going to work. It's typically like, what do you think? Like all the people, which we know pretty quickly, but the other people that are already here come to us and are like, this person's not going to make it. And it usually comes down to the core values. It could be like the speed is king. So I always give an example of the same person, but this person was amazing. He was the nicest person I've ever met. Um, I've hired and fired hundreds of people just because of my experience at McDonald's throughout the years. And this is nice. Super nice, good person, trustworthy, really tried, cared, all that kind of stuff. But it just came down to like he wasn't a fast individual and or naturally fast. So he tried super hard to be fast, but he just couldn't meet that. Like it just wasn't for him. So every time it's like, hey, we need to move quicker. He would move quicker, but then you see the stress on his face and things like that. And it just came to the point where it just wasn't a good fit. He kept on trying, but he couldn't meet those standards, and then he was just stressed out all day. So, when I first hired people back in McDonald's days, it was like, hey, are you going to help me with McDonald's? I wasn't really concerned if they were going to be, I was going to be able to help them. But now it's like, we both have to be successful in this. You don't want you coming to work being stressed all day. I want you to be happy. I want you to actually enjoy coming into work. Um, so that's for, speed is king. The other one that's really important, there's the three ones that I think are the most personally, which is consistency. It's going to be the ownership mindset, and then it's also going to be the growth mentality. So I tell everyone, like, this is a small company right now. However, and I think it's going to be pushed past what you even think is going to be possible, but I want to be. We all know, Joe, you go from like here to here. But I think we can do it, or I know we can do it, is I want to be that $1 billion company. I want to be the biggest supplier in the country. And we're only 2 years into this. So the people and our expectations now versus what needs to happen for the next 20 years are two totally different things. So I need people to help grow. I need people that are going to be willing to grow with the company. Other thing is ownership mentality. Looking for a group of people that want to just actively improve every day. When someone's doing the job for 40 hours a week, they should know the job better than me. They should be coming to me or Maria and saying, look, I think we can do it better this way. I think we can, if we do this, it'll be better. If we're telling them to do it one way, I'm not looking for a yes man. I'm looking for someone that's actively thinking about what, we're trying to accomplish and what is the best way to do that. That being said, I tell people, like, this is not a democracy. I will definitely take your input. However, if I think it's going to be better done another way, or I think it's going to make a better impact on the company, you know, I'm going to say we're doing it this way instead. In the nicest way possible. Usually nice. And then the last one, honestly, that's probably more important than anything else is consistency. So we've all been at different jobs where like it'll be five of you working together, and then you have this one person that's always coming in a bad mood, or like sometimes they're fine, but then the other time like they're crazy, or like they'll be fine throughout the day, but like one thing triggers them, and then next thing you know they're going ballistic. And so like you just can't have that on the team. Well, same here. I mean, I think we are all guilty of like that one thing setting us off. Yeah, and Normally when I get around these types of conversations, it's like, look, these core values, they're not just for the people, just the employees, they're for us as well. Like, for being trustworthy. It's like, you have to be able to trust us. You have to be like, you have to know that we're going to jump in when we need to jump in. Like, there are certain things, we can't just expect certain things from our people that we're not willing or able to, provide ourselves. What
It's
else?
the Joe of many trains.
Yeah, honestly, I wish my dad wasn't here though. Um, what else? Obviously, we have the consistent service, we have great pricing and stuff like that. We can fulfill orders super fast. But I do think the major component, especially on the front counter, is between you and Ashley. It's not really, obviously, it's customer service, but it goes beyond that. It's like you're building a relationship. And I think that's why we ultimately went into this and why we really enjoy it is that we're trying to build that long lasting relationship with the contractors where we're getting to know their business, how they like to operate, how they like things like how they want the pallets or how they want the quotes done or how they want to communicate. It's really tailoring the business to what they want and how they operate because we, as owning a fence company before, we understand how difficult it is. And we understand that, like, to order from one supplier and they want it done a certain way, it's annoying. Or it's just very inconvenient that's taking our time away from something else that's more important, or it takes us longer. So now we're stuck at work later instead of being home with our kids.